Now, I want your calls on this. Should we fly the England flag for St George's Day? So it's usually celebrated today on the 23rd of April. The Church of England has postponed its celebration till Monday because their rules say no Saints' Day can take the place in the week before or after Easter. That's a weird rule, that. Who invents a rule like that? Nevertheless, St George's flag, here it is, has been raised above Downing Street after hosting a star-studded reception at Number 10 last night. So the Prime Minister was there and he gave a little speech saying we've got to be prouder of the flag and fight to reclaim it from people who carried it with them as they rioted in Southport last year. So let's see that headline there. This is the Sun, I think, isn't it? So be prouder of the flag and be patriotic. There we are. Reclaim our flag by George. I was always told, so we've got this little flag here. So funny when, back in the day, old wives' tales about flags, forgive the phrase, and there's one that if you put a flag down on the floor and you put water on it, it gets bigger. You heard that? Yeah.
No.
So, and it's just
true.
Just say I've got a bit of water here. I mean, it's just rubbish, isn't it? Just what sort of thing my mum was saying. But, it's just, it's the same size.
Same size. Bizarrely,
totally the same size. Totally the same size. Hey, listen.
And that was because you fertilised it with
fun
water.
we have on this show. Look at that, a little bit of water.
A little bit of water.
That's amazing.
Never heard that before.
I'm going to do that to my jelly babies tonight.
So are you reclaiming the flag, Saira?
Well,
Good, I'm leaving it to you two now.
Am I reclaiming it?
As two people who've got a different view of Britain from some others.
Born in the 70s,
yes.
Saw this flag very problematic because used by people who wanted to cause division in the country, who wanted to, be racist in this country. As I've grown older, I have reclaimed it because I now, when there's an England game, I get the flag out, England, Vindaloo, all that, and I'm proud of the flag, and I want to sort of stick two fingers up at those people to say I was born in this country. This is my flag as well, and I'm English just as much as you are, mate.
Yeah, and I think it's great. All the better for having lots of different people in it.
Yeah, but one of the great things about England is that it doesn't have to shout and boast and beat its breast the way the Americans do with their flag or the Australians do with their flag. It's one of the national characteristics is a kind of sense of ease without having to shout and make noise. I mean, one of the reasons why the smaller home nations, so like, Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland make a lot more noise about their day is because they feel that they're in England's shadow. And of course, because of history, of internal colonialism, you might say, and settlement, they feel they need to assert themselves. But I don't really feel that I feel it's profoundly un-English to have to constantly bang and raise the flag. During the Olympics, of course, it's the Union flag. Commonwealth Games, England football matches.
Come on,
things are different. And in Euro '96 was the time when I first looked at the England flag and I felt something had changed.
Wow.
The days of, yeah.
I mean, but then it does pop up again in bad ways, doesn't it? The Southport riots.
Yeah.
It does. And that's
on Twitter as well, by the way.
That's the problematic aspect that, there are people in this country that will use this to divide people. But I think it's about people like myself who are brought up to sort of feel a bit uneasy around it. It's to reclaim it and actually be bold and proud of it as well. Because that's how you're going to change it.
Peter in Wolverhampton, you believe in the England flag?
No, I don't. I think, the Prime Minister's very deranged because he's claiming to be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, which is a union of 4 nations, and by flying the English flag, he's being very divisive himself.
Well, he is English, though, isn't he? Come on.
But Peter, the Welsh have got their flag, the Scottish and the
St.
Irish.
George's Day.
This is St George's Day, so this is the English flag. What's wrong with that?
Well, there's a lot wrong with it because if you're the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, you can't be English as the country, as the nation. It's only a part of the nation.
Yeah, I remember when Gordon Brown was asked what his favourite moment in football was, and he was so keen not to do a Scottish moment. He said it was the moment that Paul Gascoigne scored the goal against Colin Hendry. And it's like, I'm thinking, what
Strange.
A weird example to choose England scoring against Scotland.
You protest too much.
It's
that's
weird.
going far too far.
Yeah, and I think can't we all just embrace that, if you're Scottish or you're English or Welsh or whatever, Peter, you can embrace it, can't you? No?
Well, if you're a Scottish nationalist or a Catholic in Northern Ireland or an Afghani refugee in England, how can you fly the flag? You're not English.
Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. But this is a very strange country. When
But if you're
my
English,
kids
you're-
were little and they said, "What's the name of our country?" I couldn't tell them.
Yeah.
Is it the UK? Is it Great Britain? Is it England, Northern Ireland? It's impossible to
Well,
know.
because of the
when you
history, it's a
say-
very, very long, very, very diverse history of settlement, of conquest, of crusades. Because many people around the world, when they see that, they'll think straight away of the crusades.
Exactly.
And they won't be able, Charlemagne, they won't
Richard
be able
the
to divorce
Lionheart.
it. Richard the Lionheart, Coeur de Lion, and they won't be able to divorce it from that history. But, today...
Tricky.
But Henry, I was going to say, Peter said, if you're all these people, you can't fly it, then don't fly it. But let English people fly the flag if they want to.
Peter's English.
What's
That's the
wrong with
weird thing.
that? What?
Is it that thing? When they play. I'm not a big fan of cricket, but the England cricket fans go around the world supporting the team. And I said to one of my friends, "What do you all chant?" And he just said, "We just chant, 'We're so red, it's unbelievable.'"
the kind of humour I was talking about.
That's it. I thought-
Self-deprecation.
that makes
if you're
sense.
a nation that is famous around the world for its comedy, it's self-deprecation. We don't have to go like the Americans go, USA for everything.
Yeah.
We don't. That's not English.
Henry, the World Cup, we will be doing Come On England. We are England. Come on, England. We will be doing that.
Yeah. Angie in Essex, hi. Hey, Angie.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hello.
Hi, panel.
Are you
Hi,
flying the
Angie.
flag today?
Well done to... Oh, yeah. Well done to Saira. I agree with everything she said. Well done. Yesterday, I put my England flag in the machine because it had a bit of mothballs from last year.
Yeah.
And I hung it out today, this morning, first thing. And, I'm very, very proud to have it flying all day today.
As you know, that's funny you say that. I'm just
And,
thinking, if I flew a flag that size out of our upstairs window, I think I'd get some weird glances, Angie.
No, my flag is good. It's I think it's about the same size as that one on the show.
Well,
And
really?
it's
I like
yeah, I'm very, very. It's put me in a very good mood today.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
very, very proud of it. So is my family. It should not be. I don't agree with the what do you call it? Years ago, the far right using it, as a weapon kind of thing to divide people in this country. But I think the tide's turning now. I really do, and I'm very, very proud.
That's good. Thank you, Angie. It's lovely to talk to you.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I associate it a bit with social media. I hate to say this.
Yeah.
But it's true that the rudest people on Twitter, now X, are the ones with lots of flags.
Yes.
Really?
They're
That's a
flaggy
shame.
people.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it seems like if you're...
The
That's
thing
the
is that they're
element.
embracing the flag, not to say we include people.
That's
it's to
right.
exclude
Yeah.
people.
That's it.
That's a symbol.
And they always have something like God, Christ, and England or something, and then they have 5. Why can't you just have one in England flag? Always have 5.
That's a symbol of somebody who's quite extreme right wing, probably.
I suppose it is, yeah. Stephen in Cheshire, are you flying the St George's flag today, Stephen?
Yes, good morning, everybody. There is one hanging on the front of the house at the moment. I could do with a flagpole, but that's another story. I actually do think, first of all, I have to say, why is this even a question? There seems to be a narrative going on within our country, across the United Kingdom, not just in England, this is, that constantly undermines our heritage, our history, and who we are. Now, I have to say, England has a very rich history, as has been spoken about in many forms, and some of it in the past perhaps not so good. However, England should not be ashamed of flying our identity in any form. Yeah. And I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed in some ways about the fact that the Prime Minister and the Labour Party are now using the flag, given their history and antagonism towards the English flag in the past by some elements of the Labour Party. So I think it's a little bit hypocritical of Keir Starmer to be saying we should take more pride in the flag.
Yeah,
Isn't Starmer just recognising that the country has changed? Yes, of course, some people on the left of the Labour Party in particular, wanted to remind us of the bad side of English history in particular, But there are some English patriots who are also on the left, like Tony Benn, who was a very proud Englishman, the late Peter Shaw as well. And some in the Conservative Party have wrapped themselves around the flag for all the negative reasons too. So you could go the other way too, Stephen. I think he's the Prime Minister of a country that he knows is changing, and he wants to say, look, we recognise it, but we want to embrace this flag.
Thank you, Stephen.
No, can I come?
Oh, go on. Yeah, sure.
I think, to be quite honest with you, Keir Starmer is using the flag as with many other issues where he's just changing direction whichever the wind is blowing.
Okay.
And he's hopping on the bandwagon yet again.
Yeah. All right. Well, the trans thing has gone. It's very weird for him, I must say. He's.
It has. It's not been pretty, has it?
Trans women are women, and now trans women are not women. Yeah. That's really quite a switch.
Too many faux pas, like that.
But then maybe that's what politicians do. They just
politician.
Yeah, they put the finger in the wind, and then they follow that.
When the facts change, I change mine.
When the wind changes, yeah.
Yes.
Irene in Essex, hello.
Hey, good morning,
Oh,
panel.
sorry, we didn't put your fader up, Irene. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you very much.
Are you flying the flag, Irene?
I certainly am, and I was just surprised, Jeremy, at the question this morning was, should we?
Should we?
Which is a question.
Yes.
And I echo everything that last man said. I am a British patriot, and yes, we should fly our flag. But I want to know why the question, should we? What will happen if we fly it then? Why is that a question?
Well, I tell you why. It's because it seems to always be flown. Well, it gets flown a lot by yobs. That's the answer.
Yeah.
And if you remember the football, that dreadful Euro finals, I wish we hadn't got into, which was A, we lost to Italy, and B, a man celebrated being in it by launching a firework from his bottom.
Yes.
And I think he had an.
Jeremy's long-term scarred by that.
I am scarred by that. And I keep having that association. I mean, I know I shouldn't. I know I'm wrong too.
But also, Irene, from my point of view, growing up as a British Asian Muslim, this flag did represent a lot of problems. It was associated with racism. It was associated with the extreme right wing. And what we are trying to do now is to reclaim it. And I think, and that's what we're getting to, that narrative of this flag represents anybody who is England and was born in England. And that takes time to
How about that, Irene?
Well, yeah, okay, I go along with that. But then I watch a lot of these marches in London every weekend. And if you are holding a St George's flag or a Union Jack, you are asked to step aside because people are offended by you flying that flag. Now, Jeremy, offence is taken, not given. And this is a piece of material. It's a flag.
All right, Irene,
and if you
good
want to live
point.
in the UK...
Point taken. Thank you. So I'm only just moving on because we've got to go to our break. And then we'll do the papers.